So.
And a welcome to Ross Lyon, who's been good enough, and he always is, to front up, win or lose, after his team play on Friday night footy. Ross, thanks very much for your time.
No problems, Anthony.
What were you sensing at halftime? I mean, we were all sensing a pretty big Fremantle win. Was there anything in the... I know you would never be one to be complacent, but did you have any concerns about what might be ahead?
No, we spoke about the game was still well and truly alive. We spoke about SEN in Adelaide and their mentality and the approach they'll bring out. So we certainly put it on the table, and there was some things to tidy up. They were doing a couple of things that we had to address. So we went out with a strong focus, but, it's not hard to discern in the first minute that we weren't up and about in the third quarter, and it accumulated with them, I think, kicking 4 goals in 9 minutes. So, but they started real lethargic probably for the first 15, but then we sort of got to work after the first 16 minutes, but we didn't defend very well. I think it was really 9 entries, 7 shots, so it's really disappointing on that front. But then I thought we gathered ourselves at three-quarter time, and lots of entries, but 2-7 doesn't get it done. So one lapse for half a quarter, and then inaccuracy cost you 4 points, really.
Ross, it was just a fantastic game to watch. The pressure, early pressure, you had the ball locked in your forward line time and time again, and you got away to that handy break. And just watching the game, I was impressed looking at Essendon. I reckon their midfield depth has certainly got better. Like, they've always had Watson and Stanton, Hocking and Zaharakis, but there are other boys there now. Heppel stepped up, Myers and Howlett. I thought they were pretty impressive, and I just felt in the end that their run and spread in the second half just got the better of you.
Yeah, there's no doubt they got on top on the spread, and their numbers told you that. I thought Coley, the sub, come on and really impacted. He's a really early first round pick. Myers, early first round pick that's coming on. Zaharakis, and then look, I just think Brendan Goddard, as Daniel Pearce has done for us, has just complemented. He was the highest possession winner. He's quite a special player, and I just think he's given some experience and another number to go through there. Because I thought, Stanton was pretty controlled all night. We didn't really go into tag Joe, but we said, no, well, you're a big body, so big. We just wanted another big body mid in there, and I thought we did that pretty well. But the way the numbers on the outside in the end probably got hold of us. But in saying that, we had 59 entries to 46, so we had every opportunity. But in the last quarter, even that last opportunity, you just need to take them. I thought they took theirs, and we wasted ours a few times. But yeah, they've really grown. I think we all know they had the tall forwards, and they got good young tall defenders, and then they get marshalled. And they got by Fletcher, they got the tall rucks, but they knew they needed more midfield depth. And to their credit, Heppel's grown and Myers has grown, and the acquisition of Goddard's really a special acquisition. So they're in pretty good shape. They're a team that won their first 10, I think, last year. So we're under no illusions what we're coming up against.
Just on, you mentioned that last opportunity, Ross. What do you say to a Chris Mayne, who was obviously in despair when he missed it? What do you say to him post match? You were too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I threw the phone through the screen. I don't talk about it really, because it's not why we. We just talked about discipline earlier, the 50s that you don't need to give away, and just the reasons for dropping intensity. So, we really spoke about, the glass is half full here. It's disappointing when such a tight season to get to a winning position and give it up. So, I thought at 3/4 time we didn't tighten up. We took the game on. We had 9 shots, 15 entries. So, the inability to finish was the disappointment, but you can work on that. So, from my point of view, we're giving really good effort. It's easy to identify what we need to fix, and we know it's a long, hard year. It's an opportunity missed, but, we'll move on and discern where we need to improve. And even as a coaching panel, probably, the one I'm thinking about this morning, we've got some mechanisms we can create, a +1 in defence, but we're so confident with our defence standing up. But, you let it go and you blink and it's 4 goals. So there's a couple of things from the coaching box we could have done better as well. I don't think it was all about the players.
It was a fascinating battle between Carlisle and Pavlich at centre-half forward, centre-half back, whichever way you want to go.
Yeah.
Did you think about the use of maybe moving Pavlich in a different role to allow some more space for those other forwards, or just to change the mix down there when you were on top of the...
Yeah, I when the scoreboard's ticking over, I don't think it's a problem. I think Late recognised and put Michael Walters deep, because he was really threatening and was really dangerous. And everyone talks about Matthew going to midfield. He's paid his dues in the midfield. I think everyone else has got to stand up. So, look, it wasn't Matthew's best night, but I think you've got to give credit to Carlisle. I think he's turned into an exceptional young defender. He got plenty of help, and so, you know, it was just a battle within the bigger battle, really. But, you know, it's something we could have looked at, but, you know, Matthew ties him up there. I thought he kept competing all night and created some opportunities for the team, though, Matthew.
Ross, there was much conjecture last week about the hit on Lindsay Thomas and Reid, and when Ryder ran into McFarlane and the shoulder clearly hits him in the head. I don't know what you think. I want to know, is that a reportable offence? Because I looked at it and I went, I wonder what's going to happen here.
Look, I wear a few hats. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a coach of Fremantle, but I'm not the head of the MRP. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll let them have a look at it and decide.
It's just a strange one. I just didn't know, and I just wanted to know if you got any clear understanding.
Yeah, not on that incident, I haven't.
Not as a husband either, Ross.
Yeah, talk as a husband, not as a coach, and then you'll be okay.
What about you? Can I just ask you about your midfield and how that's really come together quite quickly with, you know, the rapid improvement of Hill and Pearce and Fife and Mundy really looking like they're going to carry a long way. Mazungo's become a real player for you. I know you used a ball in there last night.
Yeah.
It's really taking shape in the midfield, isn't it?
Oh, look, you guys identify you need a strong midfield to compete against the very best. And, you know, so we're looking at Cam Sutcliffe went through there, and I think he had a really good first half. And we envisage Michael Walters being able to go through there. He's a really exceptional player. So, and we've got a few development. Clancy Pearce, off half-back, was a winger from last year, so he's another one. We'd like Garrick Ibbotson and Tommy Sheridan in the team as well to build that. But it's war of attrition, so everyone's going to have to have their moments. But I thought our clearance work was really good last night. Had the term first use, and it just shows when we fell away a little bit in that third. I think they won 7 clearances in a row. It does make you vulnerable, so it's an important area that we're doing quite well in.
Ross, I thought Jonathan Griffin was terrific, did the bulk of the ruck work and follows up, gets a fair bit of the football. How far away is Sandilands?
Yeah, I'm doing it from memory, obviously. I think he's 4 weeks. He'll basically be almost in football next week. So it was a legitimate 8-week rehab to playing. So, which means you really start your individual football about 4 weeks out from playing, and then it'll be 2 weeks of that, and then 2 weeks of full train. So I think he's almost 1-to-1 football this week. So it'll move rapidly from here, and we're pretty keen to see what it looks like with Aaron and John Griffin in the same team. Certainly Kepler Bradley last night's ability to go back. You know, when we did lose McFarlane, I think it can't be underestimated what that did to the team's balance, because they had 3 tools and Kepler had to go down and play. They took a tall from the front half, he went down back, and then he had the ruck. So it was a critical loss for us in the wash-up, you know.
Nick Subin, watched him the last couple of years, played mainly in defence, but he kicked goals early in the season, and it looks like you're trying to get him more of a midfield forward role.
Yeah, spot on. That's what King was talking about, the midfield. He's a part of that midfield we're building, and the more we've seen him, he's more accomplished and more instinctive midfield forward, which most players are. We can pinch hit him down back, but he hasn't blossomed there for 4 years, but he tends to blossom through the midfield and the front half. So he's worked incredibly hard over summer. He was a player that let himself down over a number of summers and hadn't done the work, but this year he's come back, you know, really lean and hungry and running fit, and he's been really good for us. So he needs to continue to build on that.
All coaches go through levels of pressure at different times, and some people handle it differently. You're a bit of a cool man. When you left St Kilda, you said, well, this is my life, I'm going over to Fremantle, stuffed a lot of his, I'm a career coach. When you see James Hird under the pressure that he was under, do you have any time to think, do you ever any time to have a thought for him?
Oh, you certainly, you understand the pressures that go with the chair, you know, so, and there's different types of pressure. I think this is a unique situation. It's very messy for everyone involved and the whole AFL. So what you look for is conclusions. So I'm sure the conclusions will come eventually. But yeah, he's handled it really well. I think that he's got a really good team. And it just highlights, everyone talks about off-field distractions. If you're a good team and you can focus, it's irrelevant. So he's handled it really well, and you understand the pressures, but it's what you do with the pressure that counts, and, you know, your ability to focus is what's critical. Or, you know, you can repeat it in your head and you can freeze and you can be distracted and you can't function. So clearly at the minute, his ability to function is quite strong.
I must have missed that press conference, Ross, where you said, stuff you blokes, I'm off.
No, I was paraphrasing you, Ross.
Yeah, that's the northern suburb simplification.
Can I just ask you about Hayden Ballantyne, because he's such a special player and he makes such a difference to your side. How difficult this week it was for you to leave Crozier out of the team, given his impact last week?
Yeah, very difficult. It was, but when we looked at Hayden, look, he's a young player, and the way we play a high pressure, high tempo, really hard-working game, and it took out him last week. He was sore all week. He's a young body that's on 8 or 9 kilos, so his chassis was stretched to the max last week. So he was sore through the groins all week and didn't train until the last session. So that helped us make the decision. He'll play this week in the waffle because it's less intensity, but we'll manage his minutes. So it's a really good point, because when you go to match committee, every time you pick a team, you're sending a signal to your group about what you value and who you reward. So it's quite difficult that someone on the surface played quite well. But he didn't win the contested ball. He got on the end of a couple Hayden, and he was okay for about 40 minutes, but on the back of a short week and all those things, and I think Hayden was justified his selection last night.
Last one from me, and I want you to talk about this fellow. I just love him. I think he's terrific. He reminds me of you, Ross. He might be a better footballer than you, though. Chris Mayne.
You've been out of him.
No, I haven't. Chris Mayne. I think he is. I reckon you use the word special. I reckon he's a real special forward. I can't think of anyone in the competition right now who's more courageous and tougher pound for pound.
Yeah,
than Chris Mayne.
To compare him to, like, work rate without the ball. I thought Aaron Hamill was the first legitimate elite. I don't know about the first, but he was an elite defensive forward.
Yeah.
And he's got that appetite as Aaron did, but he's got more. He finds the ball a lot more than Aaron ever did, and has got more class, in my view, than Aaron. So he's been exceptional for us, and it's good he's getting recognised, because often those players get recognised internally. It was a bit like Wayne Johnson at Carlton, wasn't it? He's worked without the ball and he's fresh from disaster. Everyone saw their other side, but their toughness and work without the ball is really an inspiration to the team. So
and Chris Mayne couldn't carry Ross's bags, though, could he, as a player?
Well, the thing that Chris Mayne...
but I had the Hutto covered.
the thing that Chris Mayne doesn't have...
That's ill-informed commentary, Ross.
That Ross did have,
which was
the plaster cast on the forearm.
That's for those cheeky little journos.
It's interesting, right? So we're listening to you today, and we've all spoken to you before when it's been a bit cold environment, and you're making gags, and you've had a loss. And is it because of the realisation is, hey, we had a loss last night, but we did so many great things for 3.5 quarters that you're actually quite satisfied in that output, and you know if that continues and that's the standard, you're going to have a pretty successful season?
Oh, there's probably two things. I'm certainly not flippant about the loss. I mean, I didn't sleep too well last night, because the first thing I do is self-analyse and where we could have improved. So, but if you just can't get stuck on it, you know, we put a lot into our job. So, and, you know, every time I speak, our members and fans and the wider footy community is listening. So, you're right, when you're giving really good effort, it wasn't disaster. It was a disastrous result, but we're doing a lot right now, football, and I'm really confident we can fix what went wrong. So we go forward with some vibrancy and enthusiasm, and I think, to put a fine point, I'm not happy about the loss, but I think you just can't wear your heart in the sleeve. We had an opportunity last night. There's no use me talking about I could have put a +1 back, and I could have done that now. I think next time that opportunity arises, I've got to be aware of that and react. Otherwise, you know, you end up out of a job. So there's no use looking on national radio.
I love some of your quotes, Ross, and I love the one that you hit us with in the, I think it was early February, that if you train normally and prepare normally, you get a normal result. And you're looking for an abnormal preparation and an abnormal expectation to achieve great things from this group. Did you play normally last night or abnormally?
I thought we gave great effort, but I think you got to link that to elite sport. By definition, elite sport and high performance teams have to be abnormal, because by choosing it, you're choosing an environment of, particularly AFL football, of high scrutiny, high anxiety about performance, fierce competition, high demands, and so a lot of people shy away from that. A lot of people say, well, that's not for me, and so by definition, high performance in Australian rules football at the elite level is an abnormal existence. So that's what I mean by that. So if you want to be normal, you're really going to opt out of the AFL system, because it demands a lot greater than what the normal person wants to give. So that's putting that quite in context.
There's a lot of abnormal people in our commentary box.
We got Robert Walsh here.
Not for the same reasons. we appreciate your time as always, mate. We really do, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Ross Lyon, the coach of Fremantle. It's a good point you make about his words, because I reckon he is now leading the way in a lot of areas, but one of them is in language, in football. What he starts saying, other people start saying. We're going to bank that win. That everyone else starts talking about banking those 4 points now.
There'll be abnormal people everywhere this year. He does. I think when you listen to the old coaches of 30, 40 years ago, Wolsey, they talk a different language, and it's fantastic to listen to them. Some of the things they've had on Fox have been great. I think Ross is nearly he speaks the same language as those guys. We've gone for about 10 years of the sameness, I reckon, with coach speak, but he's winding the clock back for us.
I get accused of being in love with this man. I think it's an incredible coaching performance to get him to work together defensively. I just think that's so hard in an offensive game. And I know you admire his ability to coach.
He's the best.
I really enjoy being a part of and listening to Ross Lyon talk about footy.